Val, you'd never wake up. I'm so relieved. I can't tell you. It's like waking up from an endless nightmare.
Funny you put it like that.
Mateo had a dream about you right before he came out of it.
Yeah, you were in trouble.
He was calling your name.
You had a gun? And you were pointing it?
Are you saying this was last night?
Yeah. Pretty incredible, right?
More than you know. I had a gun.
You don't own a gun. You don't believe in guns.
Dimitri gave me one for protection.
From what?
From Jim.
I was afraid for my life. I was afraid for all of us. Jim was a sociopath.
Was?
That accident with your furnace, that was Jim. It wasn't an accident. He poisoned you with carbon monoxide to stop the investigation. It was just one item in a long, horrifying list. He admitted it all to me last night. He took care of people who got in his way. And he was contemptuous. And he was confident that nobody would ever stop him. And for once in his life, he miscalculated. It had to end. And I did it.
How?
I shot him. Jim is dead.
I am shocked. I'm appalled. Strolling the corridors when you belong in bed. Mateo, I'm joking. It's wonderful to see you up on your feet again. I'm interrupting something. I'm sorry.
No, how is Edmund?
He's over the worst of it. His fever broke during the night.
But what's wrong with Edmund?
Jim tried to do away with him, too. He trained him inside an aqueduct. He waited for the tide to rise. He thought it would drown him. Mateo, you both must be overwhelmed.
Edmund's okay, right?
Well, Dimitri risked his life trying to save both of them. I don't think they would have made it if it hadn't been for Tad.
This is not sinking in.
What? I know. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It'll take some time. You just have to know Jim Thomasen's not going to hurt anybody else anymore.
Would you care to look in on Edmund?
Would it be okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm going there now. You're welcome to come.
Do you mind if I join you?
Certainly not. Unless you're in a wheelchair. Your recovery was miraculous, but even miracles can be overtaxed.
I'll go get the chair.
I never knew when I got you involved in this Jim mess.
I was involved when my sister died in that crash.
I didn't know I was putting your life on the line. Forgive me.
There's nothing to forgive.
99.9.
Play that number.
Don't you think we've gambled enough for a while?
You're on the mend.
See? What an upswing.
It was touch and go last night.
That was one hell of a trip to the seashore, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Next time, book a luxury suite.
You know, I'd be fish food without you.
I owed you one.
More than one, but who's counting?
You know me, I love to count.
Not just for the record. That makes us even. All right?
If it's all right with you, it's okay with me. You can give it to your kids yourself.
Brooke, what happened? Is she okay?
Yeah, she's tired. She's safe.
Tell me Thomasen didn't hurt her? Tell me the police caught up with that slime.
Thomasen case is closed.
They locked him up. No chance of bail.
He's lying in the morgue at Pine Valley.
You took him down?
Actually, no.
I did. Oh, I've never been so happy to see anybody in my life. With the exception, possibly, of this man. Can you believe it? He's finally back.
Everything back to normal?
Yeah,
Mateo?
except the muscle tone's kind of shot. But
Oh, a few days intensive therapy. He will be bounding around holidays.
You look better than my brother.
Well, he's had a lot more sleep.
Hey, I had a long night.
yeah, I had a long night, too.
8 weeks worth.
I missed a lot.
So did I, and I was awake.
Hey, you had more than enough to contend with.
Wait, I need a remedial course in how we won the war against Jim Thomasen.
Speaking of which, I wanted to ask
You
you if you...
realize you're way over the visitor limit.
Well, I got an in with the chief of staff.
15 minutes, two of you've got to go. That's starting with you. You can use a shower and a change of clothing.
That's a medical opinion.
And he used to be so dapper.
Hey, can a guy change his look here, right?
Take 12 hours sleep.
Yeah.
Call me in the morning.
Thank you.
So wait, tell me about this all-nighter. Was there a woman involved?
Yeah. Several doctors, nurses.
Yeah, he had a great time staying up all night watching me sweat.
Yeah, the best part about the finale was when my brother opened his eyes. As soon as he started in with the insults, I knew he was back to his old self.
It's good to laugh again. Did anybody think we'd ever be doing that?
It's been a long time coming.
Want to talk about Jim? Fill in the gaps. You up to it?
I think the question is, are you?
You know me, I like a story with a happy ending.
Yeah, I want to hear this, too.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
How many of those have you looked at?
Far, far too many.
There's a message in the tape marks. The challenge is to find it.
You have a strategy for that, do you?
Yeah. An open mind. Sounds simple, but it's actually very rare. This case, for example, too many conclusions have already been drawn.
Such as?
Well, the overwhelming consensus that the victim was a threat to the perp.
The victim was a threat to the world at large, Keith.
But Thomasen was shot in the back,
Yes, Brooke admitted that.
knowing that the coroner would point it out.
I don't think that's the reason she did it, but what's your point?
Just an observation.
You're leaning toward a murder charge, aren't you?
I didn't say that.
That's what I'm hearing.
You're a Brooke English fan.
Yeah. Yes, that's why I recused myself from the case.
But here you are, checking up on your ADA.
It's my job to stay abreast of everything that happens within my jurisdiction.
No offense, Jack, but I've heard those words before. From people who thought that they could pull my strings.
I didn't think you had any strings, that's what I was told. That's why you got this job, Keith. If I'd wanted to hire a lackey, it sure as hell wouldn't have been you. What's the matter? You never worked for an honest man before?
On that, I'll take the fifth.
Smart move. No, Keith, this is your case. You call it how you see it, but I expect to be kept informed, and I do not mean after the fact. Are we clear?
Works for me.
Good. So, have you interviewed Edmund Grey yet?
He's my next stop. How superstitious are you?
More with every passing day. Why?
You mind standing where Thomasen dropped?
I can think of jollier ways to start my morning, but sure.
And the shooter was here. I mean, the terrified heroine. Interesting, huh?
How so?
Well, allowing that Thomasen was a scary guy, how could he threaten her from way over there? How familiar was Brooke with firearms?
I'd be surprised if she ever held a gun in her hand before that night.
Quite a sharp shooter for a novice. Or maybe it was just beginner's luck.
So I pulled back the curtain on Jim's porn shots of Laura, looking afraid and humiliated. I tried to pretend that we still had a chance, to keep my anger in check. But Jim was so glib and so self-assured that it just got more and more difficult. And he wouldn't tell me where Dimitri and Edmund were trapped. He wouldn't tell me anything until I took out the gun. And then he was heading to Pigeon Hollow, and it wasn't a bluff. And I couldn't let him go. I couldn't let him go and hurt my son. I had to stop him. So I shot him. Jim thought I would just stand by and let him go after Jamie. He actually turned his back on me. He started to walk out the door. And after the first shot, he turned around. He couldn't believe that I had pulled the trigger, the quivering mass of woman that I am, which is not at all an inaccurate description.
Oh, Brooke, anyone would have been frightened.
I was pathetic and weak for a long time, Dimitri.
The Brooke I know is a rock.
Hayley, after that plane crash, I fell apart.
So did I, Brooke. So did I.
You didn't start dating a psychopath. You didn't bring a sick man in to go after your friends and your family.
No. I galloped in to save the day and ended up endangering your life.
Edmund, how many times did you warn me? I was in denial.
I let Jim get the jump on me, and I left you to fend for yourself.
I will not let you take the blame for this.
I should have finished Thomasen off when I had the chance. It should have ended on the beach.
Can I ask you guys a question? Why are you all beating your heads against the wall? I mean, you nailed a homicidal maniac. You should be toasting each other.
Is that a local custom? Celebrating unnatural death? Or is it just when the dead's not one of the gang?